Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Frank Andrews, Marisa Bird, meteorologist Noreen Clark, and J. Christopher Sports. This is Newswatch 16 this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Coming up on 28 minutes now before 7, and today is Tuesday. It's the 7th of January. In a moment on Newswatch 16 this morning, state lawmakers head back to Harrisburg for the first session of the new year. But first, a look at the Weather Watch forecast, and here's meteorologist Noreen Clark. Good morning, Noreen.
Good morning, Frank. Top of the morning, everyone. I've got a plane buzzing in the background. We've got some very cold temperatures this morning. They range from 3 above to near 20 degrees. It's 13 degrees right now in the backyard. And we do have a partly sunny, breezy day along with those cold temperatures. Some snow flurries may be possible. The afternoon high around 20 degrees. I'll have the complete forecast coming up from the backyard in just a few minutes.
Thank you very much, Noreen. That plane might be taking some Pennsylvania lawmakers back to Harrisburg this morning for the first session of 1986. This year, the lawmakers will have to deal with a variety of subjects, including that proposed seatbelt law for the state. Last October, the state Senate voted 31-14 in favor of a law that would require drivers and front seat passengers to wear seatbelts in the state. Now, a seatbelt law is in a committee in the House in Harrisburg, and it's expected to be a hot issue in 1986 for Pennsylvania state lawmakers. One other issue the lawmakers will have to deal with is the liability insurance crunch that's facing many state businesses. Liability insurance costs have more than doubled for some businesses, and now state lawmakers are being asked to help. There is a new program in effect already for municipalities and daycare centers and taverns to help them get liability insurance. And in this session of the General Assembly, lawmakers are expected to look into ways to help other business people in the state deal with the rising costs of liability insurance. Well, Pennsylvania's Department of Transportation is trying to turn its workers into crime fighters. PennDOT is holding training programs all over the state to teach workers how to watch for criminal activity and help police investigate the crime. PennDOT says its workers spend a lot of their time on road work, and they can be helpful to police officials throughout the state. PennDOT Crime Watch training programs are being held all over the state starting today. Well, there is a strike brewing this morning among 3,200 state workers. Unionized nurses, pharmacists, and other health care workers employed by the state have voted to strike if contract talks break down. They are members of the Pennsylvania Nurses Association, and they've been without a contract for about 3 months. If a strike does hit, it could affect 40 state hospitals, 7 state prisons, and about 60 state health care centers. Well, 20-year-old Michael Pandolfi of Laughlin has a new job this morning. He took the oath of office yesterday as a borough councilman in the Luzerne County community of Laughlin. As Newswatch 16's Joe Ducey explains, the younger Pandolfi is continuing a family tradition.
History. The last time Michael Pandolfi attended one of these, his father was being sworn in as a Laughlin borough councilman, and Michael vowed it would soon be his turn. Well, now it is. Pandolfi is 20 years old, a University of Scranton junior, and now the youngest person to sit on the Laughlin Borough Council. He says he's had politics on the mind since his dad was in office.
It was interesting to me, and I decided I'd go to some of the council meetings, and I went to a couple, and at first it was extremely boring. I didn't know what they were talking about, but the whole system of how things were working, it really struck me. It was intriguing to me.
Raymond Pandolfi was councilman for 6 years, from 76 to 82. He's all for Michael, following in his footsteps and going even further.
I had no further plans of going anywhere else in politics. Mike is young. He has his whole life ahead of him. If he wants to go further, that's up to him, and I'll encourage him all the way.
It wasn't easy for Michael. There was a lot of handshaking, a lot of calling on friends he's made in the past 16 years in Laughlin, and 2 big drawbacks to overcome, being a Republican in a mostly Democratic area, and the biggest drawback being only 20 years old.
I sat back and I said, well, since that's my biggest weakness, I decided for my campaign I'd turn it around and use it as my biggest advantage. And for my campaign slogan, I went out and I told the people that I believe that we need young people on council, a young representative, someone who's studying new ideas at university.
Joe Ducey, Newswatch 16 in Laughlin.
And still to come on Newswatch 16 this morning, the Tuesday morning Weather Watch forecast from the backyard with meteorologist Noreen Clark. The refrigeration had set in. We'll have the details when Newswatch 16 this morning returns. It's about 23.5 before 7.
Imagine buying a diamond that was guaranteed forever. Guaranteed for quality, free sizing for your lifetime, free cleaning, free refinishing, free prong tipping, free insurance appraisal. All guaranteed forever. You couldn't find a guarantee like this before, but you can now. The new Duffy & Sons Jewelers inside the Connell Building Mall, downtown Scranton. At last, someone has given you a better way to buy a diamond. The Duffy & Sons Forever Diamond Guarantee. Worth looking into.
Hi, this is Joe Cooper with another helpful hint on preparing seafood. Haddock is a very quick, inexpensive meal. Haddock is also low-cal, perfect for dieters, and can be broiled, fried, baked, steamed, or poached. Haddock is priced well, too.
Cooper's Route 6 Seafood has all your favorites to take home. Chef Joe won't be undersold, so you'll save plenty. We're priced so low restaurants buy from us, so don't clam up. Demand a better price. Here's Cooper's Route 6 Seafood Market Special of the Week.
Rock lobster tails, all sizes, $10.75 a pound.
Good morning, everyone. About 21 and a half minutes before 7, refrigeration. Boy, it is chilly. Good morning, Noreen.
Good morning, Frank. Morning, everyone. Today is Russian Christmas, and there's plenty of cold air, but not much in the way of snow. Let's check our current readings from the backyard. It is now 13 degrees under a partly cloudy sky here. My weather watcher, Mark Manganello from Flemington, has 6 degrees above. From Williamsport, Carol and Thomas Ecker Jr. report 5 degrees above. And in Bethlehem, Ruth and Shirlene Schatz have 20 degrees, and that seems mighty warm this morning. Humidity 60%. The wind is out of the southwest at 7 miles per hour, and that barometric pressure is high, and it is holding steady. Sunrise occurs 28 minutes after 7 today, and sunset is scheduled for 10 minutes to 5 later on this afternoon. And this morning we are under skies that range from cloudy to clear. Just a few clear spots, but generally it's partly cloudy. The range in temperature up by Canton, 4 to 10 degrees, 3 to 8 over the Poconos, 19 degrees in Allentown, Shamokin 14, Williamsport ranging anywhere from 5 above to 14 degrees, and out there in State College it's around 10 degrees. And if we check this morning, well, I want to go to a lake effect snow just to talk about this a little bit. And these are the great snowmakers, all 5 of the Great Lakes from Superior all the way east to Ontario. You get cold air racing over the warmer lakes. It takes a while for the water to cool down as we head into the winter season, and it of course picks up that moisture, forms clouds, and as it hits the banks, the leeward side of the lakes, it of course produces the lake effect snows that we know, and some of them have been extremely strong and high as far as the amounts this season. 24 inches, 2 feet of snow right now on the ground in Watertown, 14 inches in Buffalo, a little over 3 feet in Gore Bay, Traverse City 27, and Houghton, northern Michigan at 50 inches, so incredible. As far as our weather for today, it's going to be mighty nippy. Let's take a glance at the satellite picture. I want to show you where the center of cold air is. Center of cold air is up over the northern plains. It's going to be racing to the east, controlling our weather right through midweek. We'll have a mixture of clouds due to the lake effect, but we could even have a few snow flurries, but there will be no measurable accumulation. Now let's go to that forecast for today, and as I mentioned, it's going to be nippy under a good deal of sunshine, but there will be some cloudiness. Along with that, there could be a few snow flurries, and temperatures are going to be mighty cold, ranging anywhere from the mid-teens to the low 20s, and that wind will not help. And here's my forecast. We've got some partly sunny skies today, along with some snow flurries. Clear and bitter cold tonight. It could be on the partly cloudy side at times. Temperatures ranging anywhere from 5 below to 5 above. Tomorrow, bright sunshine, but with bitter cold temperatures. Thursday, partly to mostly cloudy, and heading into Friday, there is the chance for some snow. So, Frank, no snow today for Russian Christmas, but it will be frigid cold.
There's still some snow on the ground, so for all those celebrating the Orthodox holiday, they got some snow.
That's
Thanks
right.
a lot,
Merry Christmas.
NASA will try again this morning, in just a few minutes, in fact, to launch the space shuttle Columbia. Columbia was originally scheduled to blast off on December 18th, but a problem forced the liftoff to be rescheduled. Well, yesterday morning, just seconds before the liftoff again, another problem caused the delay. Liftoff set for just after 7 this morning for the Space Shuttle Columbia. And Newswatch 16 this morning continues in a moment with more local news, including details of a boost in coffee prices. And Marisa Burke with a live report on Christmas Day for the folks observing the Julian calendar. Newswatch 16 this morning continues in a moment. It's 17 before 7 a.m.
Everyone knows there's magic in the name Great Bags, and you can capture that special magic every day of the year. Only Great Bags has the Gucci accessory collection exclusively. Great Bags can't be surpassed in selection or service. Oh yes, we've got Anye, Coach, Liz Claiborne, and the best selection of handbags anywhere. When you think handbags, think Great Bags. It's worth the drive from anywhere. Great Bags in the United Penn Plaza at Kingston Corners. Use your credit card or layaway. Great Bags is the difference between being dressed and being well dressed.
Giant Floors Manager's Sale. We've cut prices in half for you. Come browse through any Giant Floor showroom. See our outstanding selection of floor and wall coverings and save as much as 50% right now. Save on fine carpeting, vinyl no-wax floors, wall covering, and area rugs. Quality, value, and of course, half-price savings during Giant Floors Manager's Sale. Giant Floor and Wall Covering Company. There's a showroom near you.
It was a different kind of celebration overnight in the city of Scranton. Hundreds of people participated in the inaugural ball for Mayor David Wenzel. Actually, there were two parties. One was held at the Masonic Temple in Scranton, where these pictures were taken. Another at the University of Scranton. Wenzel is now the 27th mayor of the city of Scranton. He defeated incumbent Democrat James McNulty in the November election. And as Newswatch 16's Mark Anik explains this morning, Wenzel is promising new beginnings in Scranton.
It was a cold day for an inauguration, but hundreds of people turned out anyway, including Scranton's finest in their finest dress.
I shall fulfill the duties of my office with fidelity.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Will you be the first to call you mayor?
Thank you.
That done, the new mayor says it's time to start over.
What our city needs at this crucial point in time is not division, not one-man rule, not politics as usual, but rather a new beginning.
Wenzel says his first job is to figure out how much money the city has, how much is being spent, and where it's being spent. The mayor also inherits something of a garbage problem. Around the city, garbage collection is behind. The new mayor says we'll be back on schedule by the end of the month.
In the meantime, we just hang in there. The garbage will be picked up on time in this administration, though.
Wenzel says he also wants to hear from the voters. So he's planning on sending out questionnaires to city residents to find out what problems they think the city should fix. Mark Anik, Newswatch 16, Scranton.
Well, Jay Christopher is up next on Newswatch 16 this morning with the Sports Watch. Villanova has been upset by the Orange Men of Syracuse. We'll have that story and details of Bloomsburg wrestler Ricky Bonomo's retirement. Next up on the Sports Watch, it's coming up on 11 minutes before 7.
Cephalo & Associates, the legal team with the answers. When you need legal advice or are seriously injured and have questions, consult the team at Cephalo & Associates. The team stays in complete contact with the client. And at Cephalo & Associates, we speak your language. Plus, Cephalo & Associates has the courage, integrity, and resources to deal with the tough cases. Cephalo & Associates, the legal team that works for you. Call 717-655-5555. Don't let your legal questions go unanswered. Looking for a place to eat lunch? Relax after work? Impress your date? Or how about a late dinner? Come to Ridgway's Restaurant in Bloomsburg, just off exit 35 on Interstate 80. Ridgway's features 3 complete menus for dinner, lunch, and snacks. Relax in the lounge next to the fireplace. Serving dinner till midnight, 7 nights a week. So, what's the logical choice? For good times, good friends, and good food, it's Ridgway's in Bloomsburg.
9 minutes before 7. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning, Frank. Hello again, everybody. Well, in sports this morning, basketball and breakfast. Overnight, senior forward Raphael Addison scored 25 points as 4th-ranked Syracuse stretched its record to 11-0 with an 57 drubbing of Villanova. The Orange men led only by 5 at the half, but pulled away in the third as Villanova pulled up with a cold hand. Harold Presley controlled the opening tip-off, and freshman Doug West got the quick basket for Villanova there. Syracuse caught up quickly. Raphael Addison here steals the ball and then was down the floor for 2. Addison was game high with 25. Syracuse wins at 80-57. On the college electric scoreboard, there's the Syracuse-Villanova final. Elsewhere, number 6 Memphis State topped South Carolina 89-81. 9th-ranked Kansas rolled by Detroit 60-51. 11th-rated Kentucky fell to unranked Auburn 60-56. 14th-ranked Alabama Birmingham powered by Southern Florida 57-46. And 17th-rated Louisville drilled Eastern Kentucky 86-55. Closer to home, King's College of Wilkes-Barre defeated Drew 68-62 in overtime, and Lock Haven shelled Baptist Bible 110-87. In the NBA overnight, just 3 games were played. In San Antonio, Maurice Cheeks scored 23 points. Moses Malone dropped in 20 more to pace the Philadelphia 76ers to a 108-102 win over the Spurs. The victory, the 9th in the last 10 games. Philadelphia took the early lead with San Antonio standing around flat-footed. Charles Barkley used his muscle here as he drives the lane for a left-handed slam. The Sixers extended their lead to 9 points in the first, with Julius Erving going in for a little finger roll off the glass. The Spurs tried to keep pace with a bucket by John Sundvold via Alvin Robertson's steal and a pass to Alfrederick Hughes, but the Sixers held on to win it 108 to 102. On the electric scoreboard, Philadelphia by 6 over San Antonio. Sacramento topped Washington 106 to 87, and Phoenix drilled Seattle 114 to 97. In the NHL overnight, there were just 2 games played. Montreal shelled St. Louis 9-2, and Pittsburgh nipped New Jersey by a score of 4-3. The nation's top-ranked collegiate wrestler at 120 pounds, Bloomsburg's Rick Bonomo, formerly of Lake Lehman, surprised the country last night by announcing his retirement from the sport. Tim Carlson has more on that.
I think I retired. I kind of got a little tired of the sport, and really I didn't want to be a negative factor for the rest of the guys on the team.
Ricky Bonomo, one of the most successful athletes from this area, a state champion wrestler at Lake Lehman High School, 2-time All-American at Bloomsburg University, and last year a national collegiate champion wrestler. And yet, he's only a junior at Bloomsburg. So why is Ricky at such a young age retiring from a sport from which he's done so well?
After the national title last year, did you lose the drive to go on?
Yeah, I did lose a little bit of motivation, you know, going in the room and all. I really wasn't into it, and if I'm not into it 100%, I don't feel that I'm going to perform 100%.
Ricky and his brother Rocky have been a team right through college, but for now, Rocky will have to go it alone.
For the last 2 years, he really had to look after me instead of looking after himself, and I think that I kind of got in his way.
Ricky's last match was December 29th when he defeated an All-American from Rider College at the Wilkes Open. His last match? Well, maybe not. Don't be surprised next year if Ricky comes out of that self-imposed retirement and wrestles as a senior from Bloomsburg. Tim Carlson, Sports Watch 16.
Thank you, Tim. And speaking of retirement, Bud Grant has history with the Minnesota Vikings. Grant spent 18 years as head coach of the Vikings, including this season. He led Minnesota to 4 Super Bowls, but never won one. He'll be replaced by Jerry Burns, who had been an assistant under his regime. Grant simply said it was time to move on. The Fish and Game forecast for northeastern and central Pennsylvania. 4 o'clock this afternoon. Looks like a good time, but if you're a night person, oh, look at that, about 10 or 11 o'clock.
Miss Quincy, though, if you go. Yeah.
That's true. So,
thanks a lot, Jay. Newswatch 16 this morning continues in a moment. More on our top stories, latest on the Weather Watch forecast. But first, if you'd like to check again, here's a look at the lottery numbers. The daily number was 968 for Monday, and the lotto numbers 1, 3, 10, 16, 36, 37, and the alternate number was 34. Right now, it's 5.5 minutes before 7. We'll be right back.
Mr. Donor Recruit, Chad Hut! Oh, you think you're pretty wonderful, don't you? Yes. I think you're looking good and tasting fresh. Well, let me tell you something. I've been watching you pretty closely lately, and I'll tell you what I think. I think you deserve a promotion. So here's the promotion.
Hey, between now and January 31st, every time you buy a dozen of Mr. Donut donuts, you get a 50-cent coupon good on your next visit to any participating Mr. Donut. When you need to tell someone how special they are, do it with exquisite gifts from Remick Floral & Gift. Choose from a great selection of live and silk centerpieces, plants, and a variety of floral arrangements. If that special someone seems to have it all, select an elegant oriental vase, brass planter, and statues, and handcrafted Hummel figurines. And what better way to someone's heart than with an adorable stuffed animal? Come to Remick Floral & Gift and ask about our gourmet gift baskets, too. Remick Floral & Gift, 1001 North Main, just off the Scranton Expressway.
The Space Shuttle Columbia is set to blast off this morning for a week in space. Its mission was delayed twice before because of problems on the launch pad. And today is Christmas Day for people who observe the Julian calendar. Special church services are set throughout the area, and from all of us here at WNEP to those of you celebrating Orthodox Christmas, a very happy and blessed holiday to you. Here's meteorologist Noreen Clark with the forecast. Morning, Noreen.
Good morning, Frank. It's 12 degrees right now in the backyard, and we have a partly sunny, breezy day along with those cold temperatures. Some snow flurries may be possible, the high temperature around 20.
All right, thank you very much. President Reagan is going to have a news conference tonight at 8 o'clock to talk about the U.S. reaction to Libya and its training of terrorists there, allegedly. Of course, ABC will have more on that coming up next on Good Morning America, and we'll be back at 7:25. Have a good day, everyone.